Hello there and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. So it is the month of March. It is time for a new everyday makeup drawer video. I am going to be doing a quick little recap of last month's drawer, but I will have timestamps for you below as always, of course, in case you want to skip around. But let's get started on the recap. If there is a little bit of a slight echo, I'm just have this on some hardwood floors. I do have a blanket down, but sometimes that doesn't really help. So I just wanted to mention that it's only going to be for this part right here. The rest of the video is going to be filmed with like carpet, except for when I come back and place my new products in these drawers. But let's get started on that recap. Okay, I had these products right here, my Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm, the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. These two are going to be staying in my everyday makeup drawer. I'm just trying to get an empty on both of these so I can finally move on and pick up a new eyeshadow primer. So these are going to be staying in. Now for the brow products, I did have the Kosas brow pencil in here, and then this is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Brow Enhancer Gel. However, I took the Kosas out maybe about halfway through the month, and I put in this Laura Geller brow pencil. I'm really trying to finish up this pencil because it's not my favorite. It's a good tone, but it has the brow gel on the other side, and I'm just trying to get an empty on it, so I will be keeping this in here for this month. Okay, for primer, I had the Say Glowy Super Gel in Rose Glow and the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. I will be taking both of these out, but I really enjoyed mixing these two together. And this e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer, I have really fallen in love with this for this past month. So if they bring this back again, because I know they keep bringing it back, taking it away, I'm actually going to be picking me up another one because I have really enjoyed using this. I hate to really take it out this month, but I need to use some of my other primers, so these are going to be taken out. Then of course for my corrector and my concealer, I was using the NYX Pro Fix Stick Correcting Concealer and the NYX Bare With Me Serum Concealer. For the longest time, the Pro Fix Stick was kind of a hit or miss for me. I would sometimes make it work for me, and then other times it just was not vibing. But actually the more I started using it, the more I ended up liking it. It's just the tone that I don't really like. I think it's just a little bit too light for me. I would love to maybe try it in a different shade, but I will be using this one first before I do that. But I wouldn't be opposed to trying a different shade in the future. And the Bare With Me Serum Concealer is a really good concealer, but I'm going to be taking both of these out for this month. And then for my foundation, I was using the Tower 28 Sunny Days Tinted Sunscreen, and then I was mixing that with my Tower 28 Serum Concealer. This shade in the Sunny Days is just a little bit too deep for me, not by much, and I was mixing my concealer with it to give me more of a perfect match, but I will be taking these two out. Now, as you can see right in here, this is where I keep all my mascaras and my eyeliners. They will be staying in. I just leave them in there permanently, like for every single makeup drawer. Okay, for my powders, I was using the Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder in their new pink shade and the CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder. This one is in the translucent, and you can see just how much progress I have made this month, and I am so happy about that. I'm probably gonna have to soon repress this like into the center of the pan, but I am so happy with my progress on this. It is one of my most favorite powders, so I'm glad to see the progress being made, but I am going to take it out because maybe over this month I can repress it and then put it in to a future everyday makeup drawer. And I'm also going to be taking out the Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder. This is a really pretty setting powder. If you love a mattifying powder, you would probably really like this, and I love that they now have it in a pink shade. The only kind of bronzer contour I had in here was this e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand. This is the contour one, and honestly by the end there, it was getting really hard to squeeze this out, so I feel like I'm probably close to getting an empty on this. I do really like this. Out of these Halo Glow Beauty Wands, the contour one, in my opinion, is the best. The blushes are just too hit or miss for me, and the highlighter is okay, but I'm not a highlighter person. But to me, the contour one is worth it if you are into this type of product, but I am going to be taking it out for this month. Okay, and then as you can see in this drawer right here, I had several blush options picked out. There were 4 of them. I had one from One Size, the Too Faced Cloud Crush Blurring Blush, I believe is what they're called, one of the heart-shaped Color Pop blushes, and then a Rare Beauty liquid blush. All of those will be taken out. They were just the most perfect shades for Valentine's Day last month, so I will be taking all of them out. And then right over here is where I kept all of my lip products. Everything will be taken out. I had 2 shades of the Tower 28 multi-liners, one from e.l.f., one of their lip liners, a NYX lip liner, and then of course I had a liquid lipstick from the Lip Bar. I had 2 lipsticks, one from CoverGirl and one from Flower Beauty, 3 shades of the e.l.f. lip oil, the Glimmer finish, and then of course my Tower 28 lip softy in Watermelon Kiwi, which as you can see here, I am making a pretty big dent in this. I love these so very much. I was using this constantly throughout the day just to keep my lips nice and hydrated. These are absolutely amazing products, but I will be taking all of these lip products out for this month and picking some new products. Okay, and then for eyeshadow, I did have this e.l.f., if I can get it to focus for me. This is one of their No Budge shadow sticks, and this one was in the Rose Quartz. It was just a really pretty pinky shimmery shade. I only used it a handful of times. I just can't make myself reach for eyeshadow sticks. I don't know what it is about them. I really want to love them because they're right up my alley as far as being simple and easy, but I just don't know. I just tend to reach for powder eyeshadows over these every single time. And then the eyeshadow palette that I had picked out was the Tartelette Juicy eyeshadow palette, which this is such a stunning palette, but I'm going to be so honest, I reached for this a handful of times. I have been trying some new eyeshadow palettes recently, so this palette didn't get as much love from me this month, so that is very unfortunate, but it is a really good palette. It's a very pretty color story. I'm not sure if it's still available anymore, but it is a pretty one if you like more of these pinky kind of tones, and then of course neutrals. But I will be taking this out as well. So that is all for the recap. So now I'm going to move on to picking out my new products. Okay, we have my top drawer here. I will be zooming in a little bit closer, but I'm just giving you a general overview of where I keep my makeup in case anybody is new to my channel and has never seen my setup before. But I will say it's a mess. Some of these really large products like that they don't fit in these acrylic containers, but let me zoom into more of this little section right here. Okay, now we have my primers, concealers, correctors, and then foundations, and then I did squeeze in this little thing holding my brow products, but we are going to start with the primers first, and I think I want to use my all the way to the bottom here. I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. Now this is the jumbo size. They don't sell this one anymore, but if you purchased 2 of the regular size, then you basically have the same thing, but this is one of my all-time favorite primers, so I am going to be including this one for this month. Okay, let's move over to correctors and concealers. Now I know for a fact that I want to use my Cali Ray Hideaway corrector, and this one is in the shade Pale Sun. This is my all-time favorite corrector, and I just want to use it again. I just really love it. I enjoy this one, and this is my favorite shade. I do have another shade in my collection, Cool Sunrise, and that one's good too, but I love this one. This one's like a perfect match for me, so I am going to be including this one. And for my concealer, I did mention, it might have been last month or the month before that I did want to use this one right here, again from Say, to kind of get my final thoughts on it. That's one thing I love about doing these videos, is then I have a month to really focus on certain products and get my thoughts in order about how I feel about them. And this is the Say Slip Tint Concealer, and this one is in the shade number 1. I just don't really... I think I remember liking it, but I just want to use it again to double check and make sure that it is one that I like and I want to keep in my collection. So I am going to be picking this one. Okay, now for foundations, I don't know exactly who I want to pick. Let's see. I'm thinking I want something that's a little bit more on the sheer side, which most of these are. You can shear these out pretty well because I'm just not into full coverage, but I definitely want something really light and airy because it is... Look, March to me, I know that I don't believe the official day of spring is till the end of March, but when March 1st comes, it's springtime and I'm ready for it, and yes. And the weather where I live has been so beautiful lately. The sun has been shining and it's just been so warm and I love it so much. So maybe, how about we pick this right here from Ilia? I have not used this in a while. This is the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint, and this one is in the shade ST2.5 Sombrio. I have not used this in a while, and this is perfect. This is like a nice serum-y foundation, so I think that this is a perfect one for me to use this month, especially with spring, and it's a serum-y foundation. It'll be lightweight, and that's what I'm looking for. I mean, I look for that year-round, but definitely in spring, something like this is perfect. So I am going to be including this one. And then for my brow products, I definitely did keep the Laura Geller brow pencil, so I'm thinking about using this gel right here, the Refi Brow Sculpt Brow Gel. I haven't used this one as much this year yet, so I am going to be including this one this time. This is a really good one for if you want that laminated brow look, but if you go in more light-handed, it does kind of give you more of a slightly fluffy look, which I like. So let's include this one for my brow gel. Okay, and I know it's very hard to see all the way in the back there, but those are my bronzers back there, and then my one highlighter that I have in my collection. And then right here are all of my powders. I like to pick a loose and a pressed powder, so I'm thinking I want to pick for pressed. I want to pick the Kosas. Let me move this one from e.l.f. over for just a second. I don't believe I've used this one lately. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder, and this one is in the shade Airy. As you can see, I have worn the dome off the top of this one pretty well, so I just kind of want to get some good use out of this one for this month. It's been a while, I think, since I've used it. Well, if I can't remember, then I feel like that is really telling. So I'm going to be including this one for my pressed option. And then for my loose powder, I think I might go with the Rare Beauty one because I feel like I'm getting close. Oh, if I can get it out of there. Let me move this one again. I feel like I'm getting really close to finishing this up. I mean, well, I don't know. There looks like there's more in there than I thought there was. But this is the Rare Beauty. I don't know the full name of it, but it's in the shade of Light. I know her products have like these really long names, but I feel like I've had this for so long in my collection and I'd really like to get an empty on it. It is a good setting powder, but I just feel like it's time for it to kind of get used up and make its way out of my collection once I have an empty on it, so I will be including this one. Now, the bronzer that I want to use is not actually in these drawers. I have mentioned before, I'm hoping you can see it here. This is my Tower 28 makeup bag that I got. It's an official makeup bag that they have. I keep all of their products in here because I love the brand so much. I want to use their cream bronzer for this month. This is their Sculptino, and mine's in the shade Broad. This is a beautiful cream bronzer. I love it so very much, and I want to include it this month. I always want to make sure that I'm including a couple of Tower 28's products because I just love them so very much, so we are going to be using this one for my bronzer. Okay, so that is all for this top drawer here, so we're going to move on to the bottom drawer where I keep all of my lip products. Okay, so this is my bottom drawer here where I keep all of my lip products. And I really like the way this one is organized way better than the top drawer. And I love these more of kind of like this almost, what do you call this? Like holographic little acrylic containers. I love them so much. They come from Dollar Tree if you're interested in them. But let's start right here where I keep my lip pencils. And they are also in one of these really pretty holographic containers, and I just really love these. So let me see what I want for a pencil. I think I want to use, I know these two from Kosas because it's been a while. So I feel like I need one more because I like to have at least 3 options when it comes to my lip liners. Maybe that one from Rare Beauty. That looks like a nice peachy kind of color. Of course, I don't know how to look at a swatch. Okay, let me swatch that one and these two from Kosas, and let's see what that gives me. Okay, this is the Rare Beauty in Creative. Okay, that's pretty. Okay, so this is the Rare Beauty Creative. This is a Kosas 100 and Kosas Beyond. So I think I might include those 3. I'm hoping you can see the difference. These two are very similar, but there's kind of like an undertone difference too. So I think I'm going to go with those. Those are quite pretty, and I think those will be perfect for spring. So I'm going to include those. And just right quick, of course, because this is not in this drawer, I have this little teeny tiny mini lip softy from Tower 28. This is the Sugar Plum one, which you can now purchase this in a full size. I do have the full size as well, but I have this mini that come in a holiday set previously. So I'm going to be including this one because I feel like I can really get some good use out of this. And I don't know how much is actually in this little tube. I don't know if it's something you can get an empty on right away, but I am going to be including this one for this month. Okay, so I want to pick some lipsticks. Now, my lipsticks are these two Okay, it's wanting not to focus. These two are my lipsticks, and then I have liquid lipsticks right here, which I don't want any liquid lipsticks for this month. So I'm going to be picking from these two containers right here. I know there's a shade from Westman Atelier, and it might be this one. Yeah, no, that's not it, Okay, so it'll be this one right here. This is one of the Lip Suede matte lipsticks from Westman Atelier. This one's in the shade Lacquer. Now, this one on its own is just not really that best of a shade for me. It just looks a little odd, but I think paired up with one of these deeper lip liners will make it really beautiful. And it's like a perfect, more peachy shade that'd be good for spring. So I am going to be getting hopefully some good use out of this one. And this is a really lovely formula. It is expensive. These are $50 lipsticks, which that is, you know, that's wild. I am fully aware of that, but they are a really beautiful formula if it was something you wanted to try. But I would definitely wait for a Sephora sale, you know, get some money off. And then I know that I have the matching lipstick for that Rare Beauty liner. So let me see if I can find that one right quick. Yes, I have the matching lipstick in the shade Creative. Well, it looks kind of like this one. It's just a little bit deeper of a shade, but it's so pretty, so that will be that option for me. Okay, I think that's all the lipsticks I want to pick because I really also want like a lip oil and a lip gloss kind of option as well. So for my lip gloss, I am going to be including this one right here from Tower 28. This is one of their Shine On lip jellies, and this one is in the shade Cashew. I think this will be a really pretty option as well, and I think it'll pair pretty nicely with these shades. So yeah, let's include that one. I really love these from Tower 28. And then for my other option, I think I'm just going to go with a lip oil. Now this is just a clear lip oil from Hard Candy. This is one of their Glosstopia lip oils, and this one is in the shade, it's Peach something. Peach Dream. Now this is just a clear, so it'd just be nice to maybe pair it up with a lip liner and then just place this on the top. So I am going to be including this one. Okay, and I am so sorry, my camera's battery is about to die. I did not realize that because I just charged it, but I have been filming like 2 other videos today as well, and I'm so sorry. I don't have an extra battery, which is a beginner mistake. Always have an extra battery. So I went ahead and just quickly off camera picked out the blushes that I want to use for this month. So the first one right here is from Tarte. This one is their Amazonian Clay Blush in Captivating. This was in a little mini holiday set, and I think it will be so pretty because it's kind of like that peachy vibe. Actually, the 3 blushes that I picked out all kind of have this peach vibe to them. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling kind of like for peach. So that's my powder option. And for my more cream option, I do have this Milani Cheek Kiss blush stick, and this one is in the shade Luminoso. This is also like the peachy, pinky kind of option, and this one has that kind of highlighter built into it like the powder version does. So this one, it will be really pretty too. These are basically going to be like the same shade, but I'm totally okay with that. I just wanted like a bunch of peachy options for the month. And the last one that I have here is one from Cali Ray. This is their Blurry Blush, and this one is in the shade Zen. Now these, the whole wand of these gets so messy. I don't know why that is, but it must be like a common thing. So there we have that option as well. They're basically like the same blush, but I think that layered, they would make a really pretty combo. So I'm going to be picking out these 3 right here. Now for my eyeshadow palette, I already knew what palette I wanted to use prior to ever starting filming this video. So I'm going to be using this one right here from Natasha Denona. This is her Retro Glam eyeshadow palette, and I think this is a beautiful palette for spring. It has some of these kind of more warm little pinky kind of, well, slightly pinky peachy type tones, and then of course these beautiful greens. I think that will be so stunning. I do have her new palette on the way to me as well, which I will be doing a video on that coming up very soon, and I can't wait to have that palette. Honestly, once that one gets here, I might have to switch this one out, or at least do a video with the 2 of them together, because I think this one combined with that one would make the most ultimate spring eyeshadow palette. So this is the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be including for this month. I am so sorry about my lack of preparedness here with the camera's battery, but I will be more on top of that. I just was filming more videos today than I thought. So that's all the products. So let's put these quickly right back into my everyday makeup drawer. or the actual drawers. Okay, so now let's put all of these products right back into my drawers here. Okay, so that is everything. So now I'm just going to be doing like the get ready with me portion of the video where I'll be using as many of these products as I can. Okay, so it is a new day and my camera's battery is fully charged this time. I was doing a lot of pre-filming yesterday. I had extra time and I thought it would be a great opportunity to get a head start on some videos for the following week. So I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit so we can go ahead and start this prep step stuff. I'm going to be using my Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder. This is just a little deluxe sample size, and I've mentioned before I have a pretty big pan in this. I'm trying to use this up. I mean, it's not a bad product by any means. I just kind of want to move on and try something new when it comes to eyeshadow primer. I really want to try the Ulta, the matte. I think it's like the matte eyeshadow primer. I hear really good things about that one, and a lot of you have actually recommended that one to me too. But I'm just going to place this all over my lids. And then I'm just going to take a blending brush from e.l.f. and just make sure that that is evenly distributed all over my eyes, or lids. Okay, and then for my face primer, I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. Jumbo Poreless Putty Primer, and I'm just going to take that on my foundation brush here. This is the Love is the Foundation brush from It Cosmetics, and I'm just going to take that and press that like mostly in my T-zone area. You can totally apply it with your fingers or a sponge or anything, but I just have my brush sitting right here, so I figured why not just use my brush just to press this in. This is such a good primer. I've gone through multiples of these, not the jumbo, but like the regular size. I've gone through so many of them. So when they released the jumbo, that might have been like a year or two ago now, I did purchase the jumbo size. I hadn't been focused on it too much though because I was really trying to work some other primers out of my collection, but this is one that I love to come back to, so that's why it's in this month's. I've already done my lip prep. I just used my Tower 28 Lip Softy, the Sugar Plum one. I've already done that. I did that off camera. I kind of do that step usually when I'm doing my skincare, so I already have that done. So we're going to move on to this eyeshadow palette, the Retro Glam palette. I have the Bloom eyeshadow palette from her newest palette, and that review will be coming up this coming Wednesday. If all goes well, you will see that video very soon. I'm so excited for that palette. As I'm filming this part of this video, I have not used it yet, but tomorrow I'll be filming for that video. But I can't wait. It's such a beautiful palette. Oh, it's so exciting. Now, I really want to do something with the greens. I know that with this colored shirt, now on camera it looks red. Like when I'm looking in my viewfinder, it looks like a red shade. It's not. It's actually like a fuchsia color, but when in my viewfinder it looks red. But it's definitely not a red shirt. It's more fuchsia. It's kind of like this shade a little bit, but just more vibrant. But I really want to work with the greens, but it doesn't matter if it really matches this. I'm just really wearing this shirt for filming. I will, of course, match my outfit accordingly after I finish doing my makeup. Okay, there's really no shade in this eyeshadow palette that matches like my skin tone. So what I'm going to do is on that blending brush from e.l.f., I'm going to take some of my Kosas Cloud Set powder. This is the Airy shade. I'm just going to take a little bit of that to make sure my eyeshadow primer is set down. Just going to press that all over my lid. You know, that powder works really well for this. That might be another good way I can use up this powder. Just use it as like a setter shade for my primer. I don't think that Kosas powder is a bad powder by any means, but I don't really agree with some of the statements I've heard where like you can use so much of this on your face and it won't get cakey. No. At least on me, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, this absolutely can get very cakey very quickly. It feels like more of a thicker powder. I mean, you can see that how much pigment comes off, so I don't know, and it could be just mine, maybe it's just a little bit older, but no, I absolutely believe that it can get cakey on your face if you're not careful. But as eyeshadow primer, I think it works really well. Okay, so on a Sigma E24, I'm going to take the shade Fringe from this palette. I don't believe I've even used this palette since probably last spring. Sad to say, but that is absolutely the truth. I don't know why. I feel like there are certain palettes that I seem to kind of trap myself in a box with, like, oh, well, no, that can only be used during spring, or no, that can only be used during winter, or this summer. No. Can use an eyeshadow palette year-round. It doesn't matter what color story it has. I know I'm making a huge mess out here. It's not a big deal. I will absolutely be cleaning that up later with like my concealer and stuff, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this eye over here. Take that fringe shade all into the crease. I just really wanted a pretty green look. I know that there are some pretty more pinky shades in here too, but I feel like I think of a green eye look when I look at this palette. Of course, I know that this palette is, well, yeah, I guess mostly green. I mean, it's a neutral palette for the most part, but it does have some pretty green shades. But I think they're more like neutral green, if you know what I mean, like they're not like neon shades. I just keep going back in and building that shade up just to get the pigment that I want. I wipe that brush off on my little silicone mat and I'm just going around the edges of this. You can also take your, like a skin tone eyeshadow or your face powder and go around the edges too. I'm just seeing if I can do this without that, but that's also an option. Yeah, I think I need a little bit of face powder. So I'm going to take that Kosas powder and work around the edges here. Oh yeah, that powder works really well for that. Because it has quite a bit of pigment to it. Pretty. That's a pretty shade of green. On that same brush, I'm going to take the shade Evergreen. And I'm going to press that right out here on this outer half of my lid. Actually, is that one of those cream kind of shades? Yeah, okay. Let me take my finger then. I know she has some of those more creamy, cream to powder formulas. I never really know which ones they are until I'm actually applying them. But I feel like, yeah, this probably works better this way with the finger. Then I'll go back in with the brush and kind of blend into the crease. Okay, and then blend around that. Okay, we're going to take that shade Evergreen and go over here as well. Then go around that shade again. This brush, just to make sure everything's nice and blended. Okay, I'm going to take the shade Marlin on my finger, and I'm going to place that right here in the very center of my lid, right where that Evergreen shade stopped. Pretty. Well, these are such pretty shades. If you love green. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade Palladian, and this shade is going to go right in here on this innermost part. It's really pretty. These are really pretty shades and so easy to work with. Now I'm going to take my Cali Ray Hideaway Corrector in Pale Sun, and we're going to place a little bit of that out there, in here. What I love about this particular shade is that I don't even have to wear a concealer over the top if I don't want to, because the shade is perfect for my skin tone. I mean, of course I'm going to wear a concealer, but you definitely don't have to. Because this one is perfect right on its own. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Say Slip Tint Concealer, and this one's in the shade 1. I didn't remember how pigmented this was, so I just figured I'd start with that amount, and then I could always work up if I need to. I'm just kind of spreading it out with this brush first.
which this is a Sigma E54, by the way. I'm just getting it kind of nice and spread out, and then I'm going to go back in and press over it. Well, so far it's looking pretty nice. You definitely don't need too much. Honestly, I might have, even that one dot might have been too much. And then I'm going to go back into the shade Fringe, and I'm going to run that all the way across my lower lash line. Okay, and then I'm going to take the shade Flutter, and we're going to pop that right in here. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I'm just going to do my mascara off camera right quick. I'm going to be using the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara, and this one is in the shade Drift, which is their brown shade. So I'm going to do that right quick, and I will be right back. Now I'm going to take my Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. This one is in ST 2.5 Sombrio. I'm not sure how you say that. Now this is one of those that has like the little dropper. So I'm just going to drop a little bit of that on the back of my hand. Might have put too much, and then I'm just going to spread that out like so. Yeah, I think that might have been just a little too much, but it's okay. Okay, then I'm going to take my IT Cosmetics brush. I did spray my brush with some setting spray. I used the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. And of course, I'll come in just a second, a little bit closer to my mirror to make sure everything's laying nicely on my skin. I feel like it's been a while since I've used this product. Of course, it doesn't expire until next year because there is sunscreen in this. It's SPF 40, but it doesn't expire until next year, 2026. So I really need to start using it more though, so I can kind of work it out of my collection because I don't want it to expire on me. I want to kind of use as much as I can of it, if not be able to finish it. But if I have to, I might start using it on my body, like my chest, because I walk every day. And I've been using the Supergoop Protect Tint on my body, like my chest, and it's what's meant for, I guess, your face, but I don't really like it on my face. I don't like the scent. It doesn't have a fragrance, but just the smell of like the ingredients, it's really overpowering, and I just don't like it on my face. But I've been using it up by placing it on my chest, and that's how I've been working through that. Honestly, that might be what I have to do for this one too, just to make sure that I use it up completely before it expires, since it does have that SPF in it. Okay, it looks really nice. I have a little mirror here that I'm looking into. It looks nice on the skin. I just went in with a little bit too much. So now I know going forward not to squeeze out that much from that little dropper, but it looks fine. Lays really nicely on the skin. I feel like it's a touch too dark for me. But I'm not wearing a tinted sunscreen on my neck like I normally do. My neck is lighter than the rest of me. I don't know why that is, but usually I wear a tinted sunscreen on my neck, and then foundations like this match me perfectly, but I'm not wearing anything like that. I'm just wearing a regular SPF that's not tinted. So let me kind of drag the brush down a little bit with any excess. I haven't added in any. Okay, I just took like a tissue. I want to say I remember reading about this tip somewhere. It had to be on Instagram or something. Take a tissue and kind of blot your face a little bit, and it took away like a little bit of that excess that I accidentally over applied it, and it kind of did tone down the shine a little bit when I did that. It needed that. I just felt like it was a little bit too much on my skin. It was my fault. I over applied, and I know you can also take a sponge and go over it too, because I did use a brush, so of course that doesn't take away any of the coverage, but that tissue trick really does help. It takes away like the excess that I feel like is sitting on top. Now that's not the foundation. The foundation wasn't doing anything weird or anything. I just felt like it was just, I over applied, and I wanted to blot my face a little bit, and I feel like that helps a lot. Okay, I have a product here. It's new to me. I got this in the mail just yesterday. I know it might have been over this past weekend, or, well, when this video goes up, it might have been over a week ago now. I'm not sure. Sephora was doing like a 10% off of, I don't know, if you had to spend like maybe $75. So what I did was stock up on my Tower 28 skincare, because I usually try to get that skincare when I can at any little discount, because I do buy all of the steps, like, you know, the cleanser, the spray, the serum, and the moisturizer. So I bought my skincare, and then I also picked up a few of their products. Now, I've mentioned before that I've always wanted at least one highlighter in my collection that I really love, but I want it to be kind of a subtle highlighter. Well, they have the Super Dew, and it just says on the back, no shade, and it's supposed to give you like a highlighter effect with like no sparkle, no anything. I guess it's supposed to be like a natural highlight. I have never tried this before, so let me swatch it. Let's see if you can see it on my hand. Kinda. I mean, my hand's already kind of glowy because I had that foundation on the back of my hand, but I just wanted to try it. I know I'm not a highlighter person, but if I'm gonna like somebody's highlighter, it's probably gonna be this brand. So I'm going to take that same foundation brush, and I did wipe this brush off on my little silicone mat, and I'm just gonna dip into that a few times. Okay, now I know I already have pretty glowy cheeks. Now it did get toned down when I placed that tissue, but let's just see. Ooh. I wanted to do this first before I went in with like my bronzer, because I use this same brush for cream bronzer, and I just wanted to try it first because I didn't want bronzer mixed in. Now I'm going to come in just a second to see if it lifted like my foundation or anything. It's pretty. Now let me have a look. It looks really nice. It's like it laid on the skin really beautifully. Zoom you in when you get up close. Can you see it? I might not have blended it in enough though. Let me kind of wipe off that brush. Let me tap in a little bit more right in here. I'm going to see how a blush wears on top of it in just a second. But you can kind of see how it's laying on my skin. Really pretty. So if you are into a more natural highlight, this might be a good option, but we're going to see how it does. Okay, so we can see. I like that because it's really subtle. And the highlighter that I have, I only have one highlighter in my collection, and it's a pink. It's got like a pink tint to it, and usually I like to mix it in with pinky blushes, but I like this because there's no tint to it. Like, it's just like a clear balm. That's pretty. I like that. Okay. I'm still not like a big highlighter person or anything, but I mean, I like maybe having an option in my collection, at least one. Now, it does feel kind of like tacky a little bit to the touch, but now I know with their blushes, they start out like that, like kind of tacky on the skin a little bit, but then it goes, you know, they sit down, at least on me. So this might be the same way. I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. But I am going to be putting a blush over the top. But that is pretty. Like, can you imagine if you just, like a no makeup day and you're just wearing your skincare and then you just apply this on? Ooh. Okay, now for my bronzer, I'm going to take my Tower 28 Sculptino. And this one is in the shade Broad. I'm going to take that same foundation brush. I just love using this brush for like all of my steps, but I'm going to wipe it off on my silicone mat because I did go in with that highlight. Now see, that's the type of highlight that I would prefer if I'm going to wear it. It's just, there's no tint, there's no sparkle, it's just really simple. I know that the Merit Highlighting Balm in Kava, I think, that one is another really pretty one that is very similar to this. It's like a very natural highlight. Apply this bronzer to my forehead. I love this bronzer. It's so pretty. It's another one that's very easy to apply. It blends in easily. It kind of the way my Mario, the Soft Sculpt Bronzing Serum, the way that just instantly blends in. This one's the same way. I never have any issues with it. It always looks really pretty. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to wipe that brush off on my little silicone mat because I do have a liquid blush that I'm going in with. And the blush I'm going to take is from Cali Ray. This is their blurry blush in the shade Zen. I thought this type of shade would be really pretty with this green eye. So I'm just going to take a little dot of that on the back of my hand like so, just that. And then I'm going to take this brush and really pick that shade up. I might have to go in with some more, but I'd rather start out with a small amount and then work my way up. Honestly, with cream and liquid blushes, sometimes they might go on like, ooh, you know, too much. Not that I'm saying there's such a thing as too much blush. I just meant like with blending it out, it can be like, oh, panic. That's pretty. I feel my face turning pink, though. My face is getting kind of hot in this room, so you might be seeing more of that than you are the actual blush. Oh, I picked up a little bit more. Let me press some of this over here too, and then go back. I am going to take a powder, though, a little bit over this because I also want to put a powder blush on top, I think. I don't know. I might end up leaving it like this after I kind of see. It's a beautiful shade. And I'm just going to take whatever is left on the brush and go across the nose and under the eye. No, it laid really nicely over the top of that highlighter. I'm not seeing where it made the blush like skip or anything. Looks really pretty. Now, I don't know how it would apply if you put the highlighter on the top of the blush. I always wear my highlighter under my blush, so I wouldn't be wearing it that way anyway, but if you were to put it on top, I don't know what it would do, but the blush went across it really nice. Okay, well, that's definitely a blush that sets down. Look at this. I don't know if my face is turning pink or if that foundation is oxidizing. I don't know. I feel like it's oxidizing. Maybe it's just me. So I'm going to take my Rare Beauty loose powder in the light shade and take some of that into the little cap. And then I'm going to take this Flawless Face Brush from e.l.f. and start pressing that just kind of all over. Yeah, I'm just kind of pressing that everywhere, all over my face. Just press, 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 press. You know what? I might take that stuff out and put it in my bathroom and start using it as an SPF for my chest, because I don't really like the way it's looking on my face, and it might just be me. I don't know if it'll come across on camera, because some things that I'm noticing like in person, when I'm editing the video back, I don't notice it on camera, but in person, I feel like it's oxidizing, like it's almost wanting to turn a little bit orange. I think what I'm going to do is put it in my bathroom, and I'm going to use it as a chest SPF so I can finish it up, but I am going to take it out of my everyday makeup drawer. I think I want to use something else instead of this, so I'm going to probably go back through my drawers and check out my foundations and pull something else. I almost feel like my face is turning red. Wait, do you see it? I don't know if you can even... Is my face burning? I feel like my face is burning. Yeah, my face is turning red. I'll be right back. Okay, hello. It has been quite some hours since I filmed that part of the video where I said my face is burning and I excused myself off camera here. Now, I'm not wearing any foundation, what you're seeing here. The only thing I have on, I did add a little bit more concealer on my under eye. I did add my Tower 28 cream bronzer back on my forehead. My brows, of course, are done. And on my cheeks, I did add in this highlighting balm, the Super Dew from Tower 28 as well. I'm not wearing any blush or anything. At first, I was a little concerned that it was a product that is making my face burn like that. After I filmed that clip, I did actually film another clip right after where I was doing an outro. I came back with my face still burning, but I decided I wanted to scrap that because I wanted to really see if it was a product that was causing me an issue or what might have been going on. So I took all my face makeup off. I left the eyeshadow, of course, but I took all my face makeup off. I waited like maybe about an hour. I did more sunscreen on my face, just my sunscreen, that's it. I didn't apply anything else, just my sunscreen, and then waited about another hour after that. So it's been several hours now since I've been here on camera. My face is still feeling like that, and now that I think about it, I actually think that I did get a little sunburnt yesterday. Yesterday was really more like higher temperature than average right now for my location. It should be a little bit cooler here, but it was very hot yesterday. I did stay outside a lot longer because I was enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the weather, and while I did have my sunscreen on, I hadn't reapplied it. So what was on my face was the sunscreen that I had applied early that morning, and it had been more than 8 hours later by the time I was out there walking. So I think that's what it is, because right in here, now if you can see, I'm not wearing blush, but you can see redness right in here. So I think that what happened when I started applying all of that blush, or well, first I went in with I did do foundation in here. Then I went in with that highlighter. Then I went in with blush, and then I went in with powder, and all of that just started irritating it and causing it to burn. So it's not a product, not that I know of, because I also swatched the highlighting balm and the blush on my arm and my hand, of course, and nothing, I never felt any irritation, nothing, no redness, no anything. So it's not them. And I don't believe it was the foundation either, simply because I had the foundation on my forehead and everywhere else, and my neck too, and nothing else burned but just the tops of my cheeks. And now that I think about it, I really believe it was actually, I got sunburnt yesterday, which was my mistake. But I'm not wearing any foundation or anything because I didn't want to put that back on my face. I stand by, I don't know if I said it in that clip or not. I stand by what I said. I am going to take that Ilia serum out of my everyday makeup drawer and use it on my chest because I feel like it's a little bit too dark for me. And I think now my face was turning red because I was irritating my sunburn, but I don't know if I want to wear it on my face or just use it now for my chest as like an SPF when I go outside, just to kind of work it out, which is really a shame because I want to say that I remember really loving this at one time, and it might still be on my favorites list from like where my affiliate links are. I don't think it's a bad product by any means, and I don't think today is a good test of it, so I am going to use it one more time on my face, but use a lot less of it. But I just wanted to come back on here and give a little update because it has been several hours, and my cheeks are a little bit pink. Because see, that looks like I'm wearing almost like a little bit of a blush. I'm not. My cheeks are just irritated, and I think that, yeah, I got a little sunburn. So I just wanted to get that little update, but you know, oh, and all I'm wearing on the lips, by the way, I'm just wearing that Glosstopia lip oil from Hard Candy. I just didn't want to put on too much makeup today. My skin just feels so, it is so irritated. So that's what it is. It's not any of the products. No worries there. I didn't think it would be because I've never experienced that, and these are products except for the highlighter, but I had swatched that on my arm, and that had been there the whole time I was applying my makeup because I actually swatched it before I ever got on camera just because I wanted to see it, and it was there the whole time I was filming, and not once did it burn my arm or anything. So it's not the products, it's just me being negligent with my skincare as far as SPF goes. When I go out and walk, I need to remove my makeup and then reapply my SPF. That's the best option for me because, I mean, come on. I need to protect my skin from the sun. I do want to continue walking, so I need to protect my skin better. But that's it. That's why I just wanted to come back on here and say it's not one of these products. They're fine. They didn't do anything wrong. I will continue testing them, of course, just to double check, you know, but I really believe now it's a sunburn. But thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads. All of these products will be listed and linked for you below. They are affiliate links, so if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission, and if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!